You did not go to a drama school.
Nope. I want to explore, how people interact with each other, women's rights issues, and other things. Because realistically, you're walking into an audition with thousands of other good actors. It's what else makes you desirable to the school. I took 13, and that was by far my favorite class. Like, no question about it. I loved every second of it. I loved
Payton Howard in college is a college freshman graduating from the Meadows School, starting her dream career in acting and directing at New York University, one of the world's leading schools in performing arts, where the admission rate is at a mere 13%. This lovely, slender 18-year-old future actor might have first struck me with her elegant neckline like a black swan. But only later, I got to experience her fierce actions like a little black bull. She served in 6 honor societies, including National Honor Society, the highest academic honor group for American high school students. All these were done during the time when she was directing 3 theater productions, acting in 7, and providing tech service in 3 of them. She serviced hundreds of hours of social work during her high school career, designed Girl Scout programs, and advocated for girls' social well-being. In today's interview, Payton answered my big question. If you are becoming an artist, what do you do to hold up academics?
How are you, Payton?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy for you. It's a
Thank
huge
you.
deal, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Acting, is it acting and directing in NYU?
Yes. Acting, directing, and writing.
And writing. So that's a very long name for a major.
I think the major just reads across as drama.
That's incredible considering you did not go to a drama school.
No, I did not.
I guess my first question is about your personal passion. I wanted to ask you, do you have a theme of your interests? Either it's about writing or acting.
I think relationships, actually.
Right.
Even when things that I'm thinking to the future about wanting to produce or make or write, they all kind of focus around the relationship portion over anything else.
Wonderful. That's good to know. And what kind of kid were you as you grew up? When did you realize that you can act?
Well, I was always pretty out there. I was never a shy person.
Right.
I would be the kid that goes on the playground and tries to make all the other friends. But I've always just liked talking to other people and being interactive.
Right.
And I really started first acting when I was in 2nd grade. I enrolled in an after-school program. And that was the first time that I got to, be on the stage acting instead of just in a little program where you kind of just stand there and look cute.
Absolutely. When did you have that firm belief that you can do this?
Thank you. I think the first time that I was I'm confident that I want to do this and can do this was probably my sophomore year. It was during a funny thing happened on the way to the forum, and I realized I could get a reaction from the crowd even if I didn't have the main role, and I liked being able to get a reaction. And I realized that even if I'm not the main, if I can still get a reaction, I can probably get a lot more reactions if I just keep going with this.
That must be so empowering, that kind of experience.
It really was. Just realizing that was definitely a game changer.
So you mentioned that in your major it actually involves acting and writing and directing, right? So you need to be good at on stage and with literacy and with commanding people.
Yeah.
To start with, do you feel like on the academic side it would be easier if you know that you're going to be an art kid?
Yes and no. I feel like you do need to take the APs, you do need to keep your grades up, and you need to take the harder classes per se, because you're competing with kids that are just as good of actors as you. So you have to have something else that makes you stand out. if that's, you know, your extracurriculars or your academics or your writing ability, because realistically you're walking into an audition with thousands of other good actors. It's what else makes you desirable to the school. So there's some people that don't believe that you need to have an academically challenging course if you're doing the arts.
Right.
But if you do that, I think that shows that you can handle both things at once and are going to be able to like just keep going and persevere over someone that couldn't handle it in high school.
Absolutely. It's a stress tester.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mind sharing some of your standardized test scores as far as college application goes?
So for my SAT, I had like a normal SAT of 1390 and then a super score of 1430. So combining my tests together, I had a higher score, luckily. And then for some of my APs, I think I got 3 5s and then a large majority of 4s for my scores. I took 13.
When you actually sent up your package, how many AP scores are showing in that package?
8 with the scores and then 5 that show that I'm taking this class right now, and I'll be able to show the score at the end of the year.
So that's still a massive amount. Considering you're acting and directing and writing. So let me just get the data straight. While you were doing all these things and AP and SAT, and how many shows did you participate?
Overall of high school or per year?
I guess high school.
Okay, let me look. I acted in 6 shows. No, 7. Acted in 7. Directed 3, and then either stage managed or helped technically with another 3 more, I believe.
Right. So I would imagine you are using all your before school, after school, and summer times for acting and directing.
Yeah, I'm definitely using a large portion of my time for it because I also, I have time for hanging out with friends and things I enjoy. I still have plenty of time to do Girl Scouts and just in general my hobbies and my friends, which I think is really important too. I think for community service hours I had around the 400-ish range.
A year?
No, total, not a year. And I think Girl Scouts was definitely a big factor in getting a lot of those hours because a large majority of them are for Girl Scouts.
Right.
Yeah, I was a delegate for them, so I was able to go to Florida to represent them on a national scale, which was super fun. But that's also considered part of the volunteering because I'm going there just doing it for them, which was still a great opportunity, but that, definitely helped boost the hours. Right. And then I would make caring cards and go help bake foods for the Ronald McDonald House, which was also a really good experience. I would recommend that to anyone because baking the caring cards is overall really simple and it's just a fun, kind of relaxing activity to do for service hours.
People while you're meditating for yourself. Because I'm definitely going to ask you about that one. It's how you wave together your different tracks and tasks together. So it's the best usage of the time and also usage of your brain and your energy so that those tasks they don't burn you. They can sort of empower you, I would imagine.
I feel like I had a plan B 2 different ways.
Right.
The first one is I did not apply to schools that were only audition. So when you're applying for theater or directing or anything drama related, there's 2 different types of schools process to get into. I don't know if I phrased that right. There's ones with an audition and ones that just see you as a normal candidate in general. So NYU had an audition. I had an interview and I had to do a monologue and then I had to direct a piece and explain what I would do with the actors, what I would want it to look like, sound like, all of that for NYU. But there's other schools So they just look at your application on a whole and see if they like you and want to admit you to their school. And with those schools, there's also more flexibility. Like if I got there and said, actually don't want to major in theater anymore, I want to switch to history, it would be a lot easier for me to do that at those schools.
Right, okay. So
But
I try to gather what exact majors you have applied for, aside from acting and directing.
at least for NYU, I'm going for a second major of public policy.
So basically political science in a way. When you apply for these majors, what qualities do you see yourself? When you look at myself like, I am this piece of material, I am good at this.
Yeah, for the public policy portion of it, I really knew, like I've always really enjoyed politics and everything that happens with that. Like, so I knew I had a like natural inclination towards that. So that made it an easier choice. And then I also took AP US Gov this year. And that was by far my favorite class. Like, no question about it. I loved every second of it. I loved learning about the different Supreme Court cases, the different laws, how our country just works in general.
That's amazing. Congratulations, you are very clear about what you're made of and what you want to do, which we cannot say for many people. So, was there a moment like a sign, like the interview went extra long, or maybe the interviewer asked me a question that is like super hard and sophisticated, which implies that she is asking me, she realized that I'm really smart, things like that? Is there anything
my interview
you can pick up?
went the time it said it was going to run, so I didn't have any indication on that way. I did have an interview that I do not think went well. That one was really short. It said I would have like 20 minutes on there and I was out within 5, so I was like, that didn't go well. So
Okay.
I don't know if a longer interview always means a reflection of like better, but shorter can sometimes mean that didn't go well, but not always. There's definitely times where there's shorter interviews and they know right away that they want you, so they're not going to spend any more time.
I wanted to add one more question, the one last question, then I should let you go. Content creation wise, did you submit your writings, script, or anything that when you applied, you just focus on the acting?
And for directing, because I applied for the directing track at NYU, I had to submit some writing, but it wasn't a script or anything like that. It was the questions that they were asking, like what would your production look like? What is the main goal you want reflected onto the audience? What do you want your audience to take away from your production? So I had to write like kind of full essays for each of those.
Super clear. That is so helpful. Thank you so much for your time.